Hi, I'm Joe Van Doren with Classes for Parents, and I'm very happy to be here and excited to be here with you today to share some thoughts on using the 4 C's of successful families. And today we're talking about coping with challenging behaviors that our children might have while we keep our sanity. And if you haven't heard of the 4 C's yet, they're clarity, communication, consistency, and community. You know, raising children can provide some of the best times of our lives, but after the 10th time we've asked our child to do something that they quote unquote forgot to do, we can get frustrated and explode on them with a harsh consequence. You're grounded for a month, we might say, and then stomp off out of the room. And yet then 3 days later or a week later into the grounding, it's off, and our consequence just has not been effective. So handling the challenging behaviors begins with strategy number 7 or 6. I can't remember which one it is, but determine rules and consequences ahead of time. The challenges of raising a family can be greatly reduced by practicing the 4 C's of successful families. And we've mentioned them before, but here they are again. Clarify, communicate, consistently, and community. And so, as with all of our strategies, this one begins with clarity. And so clarify the virtues and the values of your household. What are the goals, the mission, the vision of your family? And how are you accomplishing this mission? So if our goal is to raise children who are responsible and respectful members of society, then we need to have a picture in our mind of what that looks like and determine how we will know that we're on that path. For example, what does responsibility look like in your family? What does respect look like? How will you know that your child is showing responsibility or respect? So then name the rules of responsibility and what it looks like. Describe it. Be sure that there are ways of being that everyone, adults included, can live by. So then secondly, clarify what the consequences are for not doing so. Creating a list of consequences for your household of non-negotiables, the boundaries that you would not, are not going to change. And that's how we keep from reacting from an emotional state of frustration or fear. Communication is the next step in successful families. Most important is to communicate your family values and virtues in a positive manner and versus making negative statements. For example, instead of saying no arguing, you might say, in our family, we speak using courteous words. Another part of communication is acknowledging each other when we see virtues and values being demonstrated. So when we acknowledge each other, it's an encouragement to each other to continue the practice. We've also have to guide and correct when what our family agrees to is not followed. Using the language of the virtues will help us to do so respectfully. Please show responsibility by picking up your clothes and placing them in the hamper. Yes? So this connects the virtue that you're developing, responsibility, with a behavior that your family has decided demonstrates that virtue. Communicating consequences ahead of time will limit the amount of fighting, as everyone will know what has been agreed to. How you do this will differ depending on the age of the child and their developmental stage. Clarification and communication of rules and consequences will also help maintain peaceful relationships with the adults in the room, as together they have agreed to these rules and consequences. Consistency is the next C in the 4 C's of successful families, and the most successful families do not have a lot of rules, but they do have a moral code and values that they live by consistently. As a family, our ways of being, the consequences must be applied equally and consistently for all members of the family. In other words, mom and dad don't get to bring their phone to the dinner table and no one else is allowed to do so. Finally, community is key to surrounding our families with others that demonstrate the qualities that we want to see in our family and children. Outside forces like teachers and coaches and mentors all have an impact on who our children become. What we entertain ourselves with, reading and watching, playing, affect our growth as individuals. Surround yourself and your family with great examples of your family values. Remember, children learn from their parents and other adults in their life. However, when it comes to influencing our children with our beliefs and moral values and not follow the values that they see in the media, we want to develop our vision for the family, communicate it in a positive way with the rules and consequences, live them consistently, and surround our family with a community of others that demonstrate similar values. So, how are you doing with this? Are you practicing this strategy now already, or is this aspirational a strategy for you? What's your vision for your family and children? Does your family have a mission or a constitution that you live by? Do you feel like you have effectively communicated your family values to everyone, all of your children? Every family is unique, and every child deserves to grow up with a vision and a vision for the future. Leave your comments below and watch for more strategies for coping with the challenges of family life. And until next time, keep practicing the 4 C's of successful families by clarifying your values, living them and communicating them clearly, living them with consistency, and developing and building our community of support. All right, everybody, thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Bye.